I considered the word of the Creator and likened it to the rock that marched with the people of Israel in the wilderness. It was not from the reservoir of water contained within it that it poured forth for them glorious streams. There was no water in the rock, yet oceans sprang forth from it. Just so did the Word fashion created things out of nothing. Blessed is that person accounted worthy to inherit your paradise. In his book, Moses described the creation of the natural world so that both nature and scripture might bear witness to the Creator. Nature through man's use of it, scripture through his reading of it. These are the witnesses which reach everywhere. They are to be found at all times, present at every hour, confuting the unbeliever who defames the Creator. I read the opening of this book and was filled with joy, for its verses and lines spread out their arms to welcome me. The first rushed out and kissed me, and led me onto its companion. And when I reached that verse wherein is written the story of paradise, it lifted me up and transported me from the bosom of that book to the very bosom of paradise. The eye and the mind travelled over the lines as over a bridge and entered together the story of paradise. The eye as it read transported the mind. In return the mind too gave the eye rest from its reading. For when the book has been read, the eye had rest, but the mind was engaged. Both the bridge and the gate of paradise did I find in this book. I crossed over and entered. My eye indeed remained outside, but my mind entered within. I began to wander amid things not described. This is a luminous height, clear, lofty and fair. Scripture named it Eden, the summit of all blessings. There too did I see the bowers of the just, dripping with unguents and fragrant with scents, garlanded with fruits, crowned with blossoms, in accord with a person's deeds, such was his bower. Thus one had few adornments, while another was resplendent in its beauty. One was but dim in its colouring, while another dazzled in its glory. I inquired into this too, whether paradise was sufficient in size for all the righteous to live there. I asked about what is not written in Scripture, but my instruction came from what is written there. Consider the man in whom there dwelt a legion of all kinds of demons. They were there although not apparent, for their army is of a stuff finer and more subtle than the soul itself. The whole army dwelt in a single body. 100 times finer and more subtle are the bodies of the righteous when they are risen at the resurrection. They resemble the mind, which is able, if it so wills, to stretch out and expand, or should it wish to contract and shrink. If it shrinks, it is in some place. If it expands, it is in every place. Listen further and learn how lamps with thousands of rays can exist in a single house, how 10,000 scents can exist in a single blossom. Though they exist within a small space, they have ample room to disport themselves. So it is with paradise. Though it is full of spiritual beings, it is amply spacious for their disportment. Again, thoughts, infinite in number, dwell even in the small place of the heart, yet they have ample room. They neither constrict each other, nor are they constricted there. How much more will paradise, the glorious, suffice for the spiritual beings that are so refined in substance that even thoughts cannot touch them? I gave praise as far as I was able, and was on the point of departing when, from the midst of paradise, there came a sudden thunderous sound, and like the blare of trumpets in some camp, a voice crying, "Holy," thrice over. Thus I knew that the divinity received praise in paradise. I had supposed it was empty, but I learn otherwise from the thunderous sound. Paradise delighted me, as much by its peacefulness as by its beauty. In it there resides a beauty that has no spot. In it exists a peacefulness that knows no fear. How blessed is that person, accounted worthy to receive it, if not by right, yet at least by grace, if not because of good works, yet at least through mercy. I was in wonder as I crossed the borders of paradise, at how well-being, as though a companion, turned round and remained behind. And when I reached the shore of earth, the mother of thorns, I encountered all kinds of pain and suffering. I learned how compared to paradise our abode is but a dungeon, yet the prisoners within weep when they leave it. I was amazed at how even infants weep as they leave the womb, weeping because they come out from the darkness into light, and from suffocation they issue forth into this world. Likewise death too is for the world a symbol of birth, and yet people weep because they are born out of this world, the mother of suffering, into the garden of splendors. Have pity on me, O Lord of paradise, and if it is not possible for me to enter your paradise, grant that I may graze outside by its enclosure. Within let there be spread the table for the diligent, but may the fruits within its enclosure drop outside like the crumbs for sinners, so that through your grace they may live.